I'm a USDAA judge, and I live in Vermont. And I come to sunny Arizona to get warm. And I love judging in Arizona because it's usually so warm.
I think we hit 55 degrees today.
But not for long.
No.
Ground was frozen in the morning.
So how long have you been judging?
I've been judging since 2000, so that's 13 years.
I know you judge starters and advanced today. Do you also judge master's courses?
No, I don't. I have chosen to remain a starters advanced judge because I love setting the tone for new people in the sport. And I love making it fun for the people who are just starting USDAA. And that's kind of my mission as a judge, is to show people that agility, even in the competitive world, is fun. The dogs should enjoy it, you should enjoy it, you should be able to laugh when you mess up in snooker. And it's all, nobody gets into this for any reason other than to have fun with their dogs. So I just really like to emphasize that.
Now, I noticed in your pairs course you said that the cutest dog runs first.
Yes. I actually got that idea from Judy Riley, who is another judge who makes it fun for everybody. And there was some debate on some of the pairs about which dog was cuter, but I let them decide that.
So I love that. That's awesome. So that is a great way to set the tone. We ran advanced gamblers today.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that course and the gamble particular. So tell me what the opening was and then what the gamble was.
Okay, I do my best to design an opening that is going to move easily into the standard course or the pairs course, whatever is next, whatever joins it. I try really hard to nest my courses because especially when you're judging starters and advanced, very often you have 10 courses a day, and I don't want to be spending a lot of time on the course building, so if I can nest them well, it really, really helps. So I do move some things around for gamblers so that all the high point obstacles aren't in the same place. But other than that, I just try to make a lot of paths for people so that they have a lot of options.
Okay, so tell me what was the gamble?
In advanced, the gamble was just 3 jumps. They had to do a 180, and the dog had to turn away from the handler. And I would never do something like that in starters gamblers. The difference between starters P1 and advanced P2 gamblers is that in starters, I want it to be doable by people who are just starting out and have beginning level skills. So for instance, today my starters gamble was essentially a parallel gamble where the dog had to run 3 jumps parallel to the handler but 9 feet away. My advanced gamble really was a change of direction, and it was deceptively simple. It wasn't easy, but it was very simple. The dog had to go over a jump, turn away from the handler, and then do a 180 and go over one more jump. And the way I envisioned it, I thought that the easiest way to do it for people would be to basically send the dog into a rear cross, because most dogs are used to moving away on a rear cross. But a number of people did it with the dog on their right, and it worked for them.
That was gonna be my next question. Did the gamble run the way that you thought it would? Were you surprised by anything?
I was surprised at how successful people were running it with their dog on the right the whole way. Because my thinking on that was, as soon as they stopped at the gamble line and started to turn back, that the dog would either back jump or come in between the 2 jumps. I was thinking that most people would probably have to do it as a rear cross, but it worked. It worked anyway that the dog was trained, really.
Now, in the opening, did you expect a certain pattern in the opening? Did anybody do anything different that you thought was kind of cool, or?
Most people did multiple contacts. The weed poles were 7-point obstacle, and it's always interesting to see which people stay away from the weed poles and which people dive right into them and do them twice. And I guess it's the dogs who dive into it, not the people, but the people who go right for the weed poles as their first obstacle, and those that stay away from it. I actually am very impressed with the contact performances here in Arizona. And so there were a lot of people who did the dog walk to a tunnel, through a jump to the A-frame, and just did a little circle there and got a lot of points. In some other parts of the country, people don't quite have that confidence about their contacts.
Well, that's good to hear. Is there anything else you want to add about the course that you liked about it, that you didn't like, or anything else that surprised you or what impressed you the most?
I actually really liked my advanced gamble because it was so simple. And I like things that are simple but still require some thoughtfulness on the part of the handler and some training.
So if you're just getting out of starters and you're moving into advanced, what kind of challenges should you be expecting between the two types of gambles?
It's actually a pretty big leap from starters to advanced. I see part of my job in setting advanced courses as getting people ready for masters. And yet I see starters as wanting to give people who are just beginning in our sport a chance at success. And but I try not to make it too big a leap from starters to advanced, but it's a pretty big jump. In the standard classes, you get anywhere from 4 to 6 more obstacles, and it gets a lot more complicated. So in gamblers, it's the same thing. You need a lot more distance control, and it's not just a question of waving the dog away from you and running, as it kind of is in starters. You have to really control the distance. You have to have control at a distance, I should say.
So anything else, any advice you want to give to people, whether it's starting out when you're first starting in starters, or once you get to advanced, or anything like that?
I guess the biggest piece of advice I would give people is remember that you're doing this for fun. And I know we all get nervous when we get out there, and it's always surprises me people how nervous they get. But just remember that nothing is at stake here. This is just